Wow, this intro is always a goosebumps. So, guys, welcome back again to this Bon Jovi talk show and live music episode 9. So, I introduce directly my staff, Luca from Turin. Welcome back,
Hello.
Luca. Maura.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hello, people.
Okay, welcome back, Maura. So we are now at episode 9. We started 2 months, more than 2 months ago here in Italy when this pandemic started, and just for fun, just to take the fans together, to keep them together with no concert, no music. So we created this thing, and we wanted to do just one episode, but we had so many special guests in the last episode. We had Matt Bon Jovi, David Berman, my brother David Bryan, Everett Bradley and Lorenzo Ponce in the same episode. We had Hugh McDonald, the one and only, the foundation, with Stuart Mack, a band from London, UK, that they have played in Runaway to Paradise with JBJ, Last Cruise. And tonight, guys, it will be a pure rock and roll with a great special guest, the one and only photographer, a legend, Mark Weiss. Incredible. And then we have also Angelo Tristan from Collateral, a great rock band from London, UK. They have opened for Felix last tour in March 2020, and they played also in the cruise Runaway to Paradise with JBJ last summer. And then last but not least, we have also Felix with us for a very special. But Maura, you want to say something to the fans?
Of course, hello everyone, and thank you everyone because you're really following us from the beginning of this adventure till now, and it's great. So this night, don't go away. The first part will be always dedicated to the great 80s photographer Mark Weiss, and after that, like Max said, we will have Collateral, and last part, you can't miss it. It's going to be a very awesome video message for all of us. So stay with us even tonight till the very end, okay?
Perfect. Thank you, Maura. I want to introduce you all to all the fans. A friend of mine from Linear Rock, Barbara Caserta. Welcome, Barbara.
Buonasera. Hello, everybody.
Barbara is a good friend of mine, is a great fan, Bon Jovi fan, but also Kiss fan. You tell them later, journalist, and she works for Linear Rock, a very important radio here in Milan. Milan is the headquarters of this show. And Barbara will interview our very special guest. So, please, I want to introduce everyone. The one and only, the great photographer, Mark Weiss.
Hi.
Welcome. Welcome. So, Barbara Caserta will interview the Mark. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great. New Jersey, it's great. Right down the street from John's house. Actually, we live on the same street, believe it or not, like 2 miles away. I lived here first, and then he moved into town.
So you talk about John and Bon Jovi, about your experience in the 80s, many photos, your great, fantastic book. So, Barbara, I will give you the words. We are all in your hands. Maura, just for a few minutes, we say thank you for the introduction. Speak to you later, so we can stay in full on the screen, okay. Just for the producer, Alicia, and director. Barbara, it's up to you, everything.
Okay, since I'm also a photographer, it's a real honor for me. I've been a photographer also since 1990, so quite a long time, not as long and as experienced as you are. So it's such an honor for me because you are, for me, the greatest. I'm really excited. You are the photographer of the 80s, the one that really inspired me the most. You did a lot of great stuff backstage, on stage. You did great covers. You worked with the greatest: Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Van Halen, Cinderella, Skid Row, everybody, Metallica, Anthrax, everybody. You know, being photographed by Mark Weiss was actually something special also in the 80s. So we're here to present The Decade That Rocked, which is your first book, if I'm correct, which
Yes.
is
Yeah.
okay, will be out June 2nd, and which is highly recommended to everybody, not only Bon Jovi fans. And can we say it's also, in a sense, your story, your biography? It's a story of an era, but, you know, through all the bands that you work with, is a little bit also your story?
Yeah, I be about me and show my life, and not just have it like to be about a single band, because a lot of photographers do, like, if a band got big, you know, like Bon Jovi, they'll do a book on just Bon Jovi, or Motley Crue. A lot of photographers start with that, you know, because it's an easy sell. I wanted it to be, my first book to be about me and how I got to where I am, and, you know, showing how my photographs kind of historically kind of, you know, made the 80s visual rock, and just saw how it evolved. So it's kind of like a history book too, in rock and roll in the 80s, and how it developed through the decade.
How many images did you select, and how is it structured and divided? Is chronological order? How is it?
It took a long time to figure that out. I've been working on this book for 5 years, and it's been like, you know, you could say it's been a struggle, but, you know, just, you know, as the years went by, and I was getting closer, I had to, like, really figure it out, because we weren't sure. We went through a couple writers and designers until I really had it the way I wanted, had the right people involved. And it ended up being, like, you know, thousands of photos in the beginning, and we kind of took it down. The book was only supposed to be 278 pages, and I kind of designed a book for 600 pages and, like, probably 1,500 photos. So we whittled it down to 400 pages. The Insight Editions, who's published it, we worked back and forth, and we were fighting for this page or that page. And at the end of the day, we came up with a happy medium of 400 pages, which I was really shocked that they gave me so much, you know, so many pages, and 700 photos it ended up being.
Wow. How many did you select for the book in total? I mean, you had
I probably started at about maybe 2,000 and kind of got it down to 700. And believe me, it was tough. You know, a lot of times I had to leave out bands that, you know, I've done shoots with, but those photographs didn't tell a story. They were just good rock and roll photos. But I really felt it was important for my photographs in this first book to tell a story, and tell, whether it was an album cover, it was an experience that I had with that band, and if it led to something else. So I really wanted it to be like a storybook, instead of just, you know, nice photographs.
How many Bon Jovi photos do you have in your archive, and how many are on the book?
My archives, I have a whole room dedicated to filing cabinets of just Bon Jovi. So it's like I have hundreds of thousands of photographs of Bon Jovi, and that I haven't even seen a lot. And then my black and whites, what I rarely take out will be, you know, I think I'm going to follow this book up with called The Decade That Rocked, black and white, and just have, like, all the black and white photos. Because back in the day, in the 80s, the magazines wanted color photos, and you get more money for color. You might get $25 for a black and white, and $100 for a color. So I would shoot black and white because it was cheaper, but I would just shoot it and just throw it in the file. So I have these contact sheets, but never really printed or looked at them. But for this book, I started digging into them to pull some of them out, and there's so many, I couldn't even go there. So I thought it would be cool for another book to be called, like, The Decade That Rocked Black B&W, and then just have, like, you know, more, not telling the stories like I am in this book specifically, but more like just, you know, this is Bon Jovi on the road, or Motley Crue on the road, or Van Halen on the road, and be a little more specific with that. So there isn't a lot of photos of one particular artist in the book. There is probably, I would say, out of all of them, Motley Crue, Skid Row, Bon Jovi, and I said Motley Crue, Van Halen are the ones that kind of dominate the book a bit. But, you know, probably no more than, you know, 10 pages on each one, if, you know, something like that. It's a 400-page book. So, you know, I just didn't have, I would have loved to have done 20 pages on each of these bands, but we had to just keep it limited to what worked for the book.
And we have, thanks to you, also a special Bon Jovi bundle. You've done this also with Guns N' Roses and other band. Do you want to explain to, you know, all the people connected how that works and what's in it?
Well, you know, my photographs, I sell them as art prints, and they're, you know, they start at like $300 and they go up to $5,000. And, you know, I sign it and, you know, write the name of the band in there, and they're archival. And, you know, a lot of fans don't have that kind of money. And, you know, and so for a limited time only with the book release, I wanted to make these prints available. And 8.5 by 11 is a size that I don't normally sell because art collectors usually like large prints. So I just wanted to make them affordable, you know, so they can get them with the book signed, personalized by me, and I throw in 1 or 2 of them. There's all these different packages that I'm kind of just developing as we go. Actually, I created this bundle because of you guys, because you know, and I figured it would be a good thing for your fans to have. So, you know, I don't know how long I'm going to keep them there because, you know, like I said, it's like it's a slither of what the prints go for. So this is a good time to get them if any of you fans want to get a Mark Weiss signed original photo with a personalized book. I'll write whatever you want. If it's your birthday, your birthday.
Are in the book just never before seen photos, or there's also some classics that you put in?
I don't want to say they're never before seen. Maybe from the photo shoot, outtakes from the photo shoot. So, I mean, pretty much. And if you did see him, you probably saw him 35 years ago. There is a handful of them that are never before seen. And the one that comes to mind that would be interest of the Bon Jovi fans out there watching this is a photograph I took of John, and I didn't even know it was John at the time. I actually found out probably 20 years later that I had this photo of John because I was photographing Southside Johnny and Asbury Jukes at Freehill Raceway in 1980, I believe. Wow. And he was with Willie Nile and Hole & Oates, and there was this band that opened up for him, and I didn't really know who it was. I just, you know, it was The Rest. Never heard of him. And I was photographing Southside Johnny on the side, kind of hanging out, having a beer, and I was, you know, I like to, when I'm backstage, I like to get moments. And he was just hanging out, smiling, watching this band. And I didn't even pay attention to what band he was watching, but it was The Rest. And as I was shooting pictures of the Southside, he's like, "What are you taking pictures of me for? You know, you should be shooting that kid up on stage." And I thought it was just giving me the blow off, and like, you know, he probably was, but, you know. So I took his advice. So I went over, I shot a roll of film, and then I discovered it later on when I was doing a charity auction for a soup kitchen I was auctioning off photographs, and I wanted a Southside Johnny photo, and Southside was going to sign it, and I was going to auction it off. And as I was looking at those photos, I pulled the contact sheet out for the first time, and there was this kid that looked like, you know, it kind of looked like John, you know, but then I saw the name written on the side. It said The Rest. And then I realized later on, like, I didn't know, like, even when I started shooting Bon Jovi, that he had a band called The Rest. I just didn't do the math at the time. But, you know, over the course of the decades, and you kind of hear about it and you figure it out. You watch the article or read an article. And then I was like, The Rest. Oh, wait a minute. And then I was like, I felt like I just found like an Elvis Presley photo that like never before seen. Right, I'll show it to you. It's right here.
Yeah!
Wow.
Very young John.
Mettici un video.
Wow.
That's an exclusive.
and that was the very
Wow.
first time. Yeah, but exclusively for you guys. Wow.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
And also, Marco, how did you started? I mean, doing this, was that a passion? I know that in the book there's also some text, and you tell the story about it. Do you want to anticipate something about it and how you got started?
Yeah, it was a Jersey thing. We just moved into a development called Lake Ridge in Matawan, and I was 12 years old, and people were just kind of, coming in, and I was meeting people, and there was a guy, I was mowing lawns for $5 a cut in the summer. And this one guy's lawn was really, really long, and I knocked on, knocked on the door, and I said, "Do you need your lawn mowed?" And he says, "No, I do it myself." And I said, as a smart-ass kid, "It doesn't look that way." And he got a chuckle out of it, and he goes, "Well, wait a minute, if you mow my lawn for the season, I'll give you this camera." And he showed me this camera, this Bell & Howell Canon camera, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I want that." It just looked like it was worth $1 million. I don't know what it was worth, but I took it. At the end of like 8 cuts, he gave me the camera, and then I just started messing around with it, taking pictures of my dog and my brother. He had motorcycles. He used to race motorcycles, so I did that. Started developing the photos, learning how to do that from my teacher in middle school, who gave me a crash course on how to do it, and Carl Sandberg in Old Bridge. And then I just was fascinated of going in this cylinder, this dark room with the red lights and the timer glow in the dark. And then you put this piece of paper, this blank piece of paper, in the chemical, and it, turns into this magical piece of imagery. And I was just intrigued by it. So I took that and I just kind of ran with it for about a year. I got kind of bored shooting, all my family's events. They always wanted me to shoot, the bar mitzvahs or this one or that. And so then I kind of put it away, and I kind of got bored of it. And then I started going to concerts in in '74, and I snuck my camera into the concert and took some pictures, and I thought it was cool. I started getting a lot of attention in school, showing the kids like what I shot. And then someone said, "You want to sell? Can I buy a print?" And then it kind of rung a bell. And then I started selling my pictures out of my high school locker, and had signs on the corkboard, and they had for Mark Weiss photos available at homeroom 221, and then I started getting some attention, and
you started to have a name already.
It was fun. I was pretty shy back then, so this gave me a way to meet people and know people. So I basically did that and then I started selling. I took it a step further. I went to the concerts, and I would sell them in front of the concerts for $1 a piece, and that was really looking good lucratively. And I just used the money to buy film and to sneak in. I used to sneak into the concerts and with my cameras hidden and get real close. And I kind of did that until I got arrested at a KISS concert in 1977, where they were cracking down on all the bootleggers. I guess I was a 17-year-old bootlegger selling pictures. So I was in this paddy wagon with all the shirt sellers overnight in jail. And then in the morning, they said, "If you want to, get your photos back, you'll have to appear before the judge." And I said, "I ain't coming back. You can keep the pictures." So that was that. And then a few days later, I went, I was like, "Well, what am I going to do now?" And then I picked up a Circus magazine. It was a big magazine back then, rock magazine.
Yeah.
And I used to subscribe to it. And I said, "You know what?" And I looked at the address, and there was an address in New York City, which is like an hour from my house. And I said, "I'm just going to go there with my photos." And I went there, and the secretary took a liking to me and said, "Why don't you wait here? The art director's going to be out soon. He's off deadline, so he's in a good mood." And I waited like a couple hours, came out. She introduced me, and I was just this young kid, and with a bunch of photos in my hand, and we got along. And he looked at him, he liked him. He said, "I like him, but you have to shoot with this film and try to do this and do that." And I listened. And then 6 months later, I had some pictures of Aerosmith and Ted Nugent that they played at Giant Stadium, stuck my camera in. And the secretary called me up and said, "By any chance, do you have any pictures of Aerosmith? They're looking for them." Because at that time, Aerosmith weren't really letting photographers photograph them because they were in their dark drug days, and you know they didn't want a lot of photographs except for them having their own photographer. So
they wanted to have control on the image. Yeah.
I ended up, you know, giving them the photographs, and then 2 months later, it was a centerfold in Circus Magazine, and then that's the rest. It just built from there. I started working with Circus, and then Aerosmith hired me for things, and their management company. And it's just like any other business. Once you're in the door, and it's up to you to, like, you know, let everyone know who you are. And I, you know, if there was a door, I would just knock it down as hard as I could until they closed it on me, you know. So that's how I got to where I am today.
So you are one of the pioneers of rock photography. In your opinion, is it, in a certain sense, easier or more difficult, you know, to trace the path and make the rules? What do you think?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't consider myself near a pioneer. Maybe in the 80s, but, you know, there's so many photographers in the 70s, Mick Rock, Bob Gruen, Henry Diltz, I mean, Lynn Goldsmith. There's this. To me, they're the pioneers, and they probably have pioneers too before them, you know, Jim Marshall. And so anyway, I'm just a guy that, you know, loved shooting bands in the 80s because that's the music that I loved. But thank you for the compliment. What was the question?
Well, I mean, you know, is it easier or more difficult, you know, to trace the path, you know, and write the rules? Because in the 80s, you've been one of the leaders, you know, all your images were so special, so particular. You had particular scenarios, you know, so, and you invented, in a sense, a certain kind of photography and, you know, a particular style, which is Art Weiss.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the beginning, my style was just hang out with the bands and let them be where they are, and then, you know, let them feel comfortable with you. And that was easy for me because I didn't have to do anything, you know, because I didn't really talk a lot, you know, I didn't bother them that way, and I didn't say stupid things. So I just kind of hung out, and they liked my aura, and that was important. And then I started getting, you know, when Circus Magazine started giving me covers to shoot for them, Ozzy being one of them, I was really nervous doing it. And then we got so much, I got a thrill out of it, like me telling Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, like how to move and what to do. And then we just had fun, and it gave me a lot of confidence. And then I wanted to take it a step further because magazines come and go, like they're there for a month, and then they go off the stands. And I always was intrigued by album covers, you know, growing up in the 70s and looking at these covers and, you know, looking at the sleeves and, like, you know, so to me, that was my goal. And like shortly after that, I got a call from Twisted Sister management saying that the band wanted you to shoot their cover. You know, they wanted a rock photographer, not just a corporate guy that the record company hired. And
yeah,
they gave me a chance. And then I started getting into, they told me the concept. Yeah, stay hungry. They told me the concept, and it was pretty involved. And my father was in construction, so he helped me build that set. That was like a built room. Yeah, if you turn around the back, you can see that's like the built room that it was in. So that was in my photo studio, and my father helped me out to do that. So I had some help there, and then I just liked the way, you know, throwing light in the back of the window. It kind of created like a movie set. And I just kind of I got excited about it, and the success of that record led to, and the image really helped define who Twisted Sister was, and it just was a win-win all the way around. And then I just started getting calls from all the record companies to do this album cover and that album cover, and, you know, go on tour. So it really just, again, it's like I ran with it, and it's great because now the album, even though they don't have it in vinyl, or they sell it now, but, you know, then it went to CD, and now it's like, you know, I'm listening to Sirius Radio and I'm hearing a song, you know, living on a, you know, one of the songs from the albums, and yeah. And it, you know, I look down and it's my photo, you know, it's cool. One time I was doing having a walk, and there was 3 songs in a row, and they were all my album covers. I think it was Cinderella, Bon Jovi, and I forget what the other one was.
Dockin'.
Dockin'.
Yeah, Dockin'. Yeah.
under lock and key. So I was like, wow, this is cool. It's like, like my grandson who's 4, Jackson, probably when he grows up, he'll see, he'll have some kind of device. Who knows what they're going to be doing, in 20 years from now. But, that image will remain, hopefully forever, however long that is.
And pass me this, Mark. You also been a pioneer of the selfie, because you've done, shots with all the rock stars that you've been shooting in your studio. You have a photo with them, which is very cool. How this, started, how this habit started, and do you think that being friends with the bands and the artists was like, in a sense, a double-edged sword, or it was good because you could, take the best out of them?
Well, yeah, it definitely was. It's worked for me because I was their friend, and it's like, people hire people that they want to be around, especially a photographer. If they want them on the road, they want them on around, even if it's someone that's doing their clothes and, getting it prepared. I mean, there's a million people that can do the same job, but getting the person that you connect with, same within a band, band members, he doesn't have to be the greatest guitar player in the world, but it's something about being around that person inspires and lets the other thing happen. And it happens with photography. It's the most important in photography because you try to capture the essence of that person, and you need to have a personal relationship, even if it's for one day. And fortunately, I was able to, manifest that to, weeks, months, years, decades. I'm still shooting many of these bands to today.
And how the selfie thing happened the first time?
I'm just a ham, It's like, it's funny because like I would do a photo shoot with the band and they'd be all serious, and I try to get them to smile and laugh and all that. But if they don't want to go there, they don't go there. And then when I get in the photo, they start coming to life, and I'm like, they grab me, or they, we have fun and all that, and the big smiles. So some of those photos with me and the bands are like better than the photos that I took, in my, it's just another part of it. Of course, it's nothing that it can be used aside from a little promo now for me.
Yeah, of course.
But in my book, there's a photo, my first selfie when I was 13 years old. It starts the book off. And I didn't even know I had it, but I guess you would call it a selfie. Back then it was called a self-portrait. You kids.
Yes.
That would be a good question for the kids. Like, what was a selfie called in the 80s?
Yeah.
A
self-portrait. Yeah, okay. And about Bon Jovi, were they very demanding and very focused, on the image and on the photos? Because, they put the hooks, they put the music, but you put the looks, and combined together in that era, these two things were like very, very important combined together. So were they like paying a lot of attention to the images and, taking control, or you were in control?
Yeah, they had the hooks and I made them the looks. So they saw my photographs when I first met John. I mean, I shot him in 1983 at the Garden when they opened up for ZZ Top, who I was hired to shoot. And I didn't know who the band was, but I heard of them. They started getting that Runaway on the radio for a contest they won. And so I shot that. But I really met them and shot them properly in 1985 after Doc McGee hired me, because Doc McGee was working with Motley Crue, and I was on the West Coast shooting Motley Crue for the Theater of Pain record, I believe. And then he said, when you get back to the East Coast, I want you to shoot these guys from Jersey. They actually grew up near you. You'll definitely hit it off. And I said, yeah, of course, sure. Bon Jovi. And they came to, it was publicity photographs. They already did the album cover. It was publicity photographs for the Fahrenheit album. And they came up to my studio in New York City, and we did some photos inside. And they had they didn't look like Jersey kids now. Everyone was all like, 85 was a time when the hair was at its highest. Poison, Motley Crue, even Guns N' Roses a year later. everyone had really high hair, and that's when it was in full effect. And that was their, they followed all of that, so they had clothes from, I think it was Ray Brown, that did everyone else's clothing. So everyone kind of had a similar look, which created that look, and everyone had the hair, and, they wanted their photos in the magazines, and they knew I could help them get them in the magazines because I was working for all the magazines at that point, not just Circus. And they kind of like left it up to me. It was great. And I remember John saying, I remember he coming up to me, he goes, "Yeah, I can't believe I'm working with you, man. Mark Weiss, that's so cool." And I said, "One day you're going to tell me to get that camera out of my face." And, we both kind of, that was the beginning of a really good relationship. And then shortly after that, they became quickly, like, when that album was released, they had some hits. I shot their photographs on their video shoots, which is always good because there's a lot of downtime. I started meeting his family, his brother, Matt, I took some pictures with, and his parents. So, I started, talking to them and then showing them pictures. And then they did Farm Aid with John Cougar and Willie Nelson and Chris Christopherson and John Cougar. And John was like the star. Everyone wanted pictures with him, and John wanted pictures with everybody. So I did that, so, and I did, and everyone was, we went there and did that. And then we were, after that, it was tight, I went on the road, did some pictures, got a lot of magazine, coverage for them. And then the next year was, was the history making record Slippery When Wet. And that's when they called me up, and they were, and
about Slippery, actually, the story of the cover is very troubled and, complex. The cowboy image first, the wet shirt, finally the garbage bag. Did you take an extra in that case, for your extra job? Because you've done it 3 times. And seriously, can you tell us how it went and which is your favorite one?
There's actually 2 other covers. There was when we were going up to it was the Wanted theme, and we were driving up to this abandoned warehouse where we did that photo shoot in Vancouver. We were driving up, and John said, we saw this little girl playing on the side of the street, and he's like, "Hey, pull over." So we pulled over, and we talked to the father and said, "Hey, we're doing this photo shoot. We're Bon Jovi. You might not have heard of us, but the kid looked really cute, and it kind of looked like a young John Bon Jovi, kind of. I think that was the idea. So we kind of had them meet us at where we were doing the shoot, and we did that first. We put a little toy gun in her hand, and put a cowboy hat, and kind of. So that picture's in the book, actually. And that wasn't really considered. We just did it because you never know. If you don't know, you don't. You don't go. You don't go. You don't know. So we did that. And then the other one that's in the book too, after this whole thing when they scrapped the girl with the chest on the cover because of the PMRC, and it was, they wanted to be in Walmart, and all those stores were kind of like getting cold feet because of the PMRC hearings were happening, which I was at as well with Dee Snider, and they were fighting about the First Amendment, and they were trying to put the labels on. So they didn't want to, they knew they had a great record, and they didn't want to jeopardize anything. So they already printed 500,000 copies of this cover with the girl on the cover. And then we decided to try to come up with another idea. And the other idea after this, before the hefty bag, was to get a girl with a bar of soap, and it says Slippery When Wet. Now we spent $2,000 on this soap and $1,000 on this hand model that they picked out of, whatever they did. I knew from the start it was like a waste of time, but I just went through the motions and I did it. That picture's in the book that no one ever saw before. I don't even know anyone knows the story on that. And then, then of course that didn't work. And then John if we had like one day to come up with an idea for a cover, and then John just called me up and said, I'm coming over, and he came over and just to get me a black plastic bag and put it up on the wall, spray some water on it, and he just came in. I still didn't know what he was going to do, and he just wrote with his hands one time, slippery one wet, and he just left. And I said, you want to wait till let's see the Polaroid? He goes, just send it to the record company.
The girl on the cover is Angela, right?
Yeah, Angela. Yeah.
My favorite girl on the cover. So I think.
I prefer the bigger photo. I mean, I prefer that.
Yeah,
I have the Japanese version of it. Yeah.
Me also.
We shot her, but they used it for a lot of stuff. You know, little single sleeves. Like, I don't know if you saw it here. They used it for the. This is a promotional copy of "You Give Love a Bad Name."
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and also I don't know what this. Oh, let it. I don't know. Maybe this was. I don't know. No, maybe something else. But also the tour book. You know, the tour book. You know.
Wow. Yeah.
We used the wanted. You know, everything was used. Like the wanted photo was used for, you know, a single sleeve and other things like that. So everything was used. Yeah.
And Mark, in a sense, did you perceive that the band felt the weight, of the importance of this album, Slippery and Wet, which was really crucial in their career, since the previous two albums were, selling so and so, and so at that point they had to move to take, that was the turning point. That was an important moment. Did you feel, everybody around them, including you, felt that, perceived that?
They knew that this record was either make it or break it. They just knew, and they knew they had the songs, and they didn't want anything like stopping it. And I guess the record company felt like, why take a chance? Let's just pull the cover and bite our losses. And that's what they did. I mean, who knows? I'm sure with Angela on the cover, I mean, because the songs on the album are amazing. You can't, deny that. I can't imagine that a record cover is going to change the sales on that. But hey, you never know. I mean, things do happen. If the public can't see it, and if the parents don't let a certain photo in, in their room to buy it, like, you got to think about all the parents that are buying albums for their kids, and I'm sure a lot of them made a lot of Christmas presents and birthday presents, and they're probably not going to want to give a 12-year-old kid, maybe a 17-year-old or 18. So and really,
do you have your favorite one among all the three and more that you've done? You have your favorite?
Oh, of course. I'm the girl. I mean,
don't know why, but I knew that.
Now I wonder, the question is, see, this question should not be directed to a guy, but I'm going to ask you three ladies, what was your favorite one? Really? I mean, because you're girls, would you be offended, or would you, so what do you think?
No. I mean, all the girls were in the videos anyways. So, I mean, that was, very 80s. I know that John hated the pink, the pink stuff around. Is that correct?
So, Mark, maybe Alicia and Maura, they are the new generation of fans, right? So maybe they can reply.
Yeah.
They can answer to your question, and so we can have another point of view. What do you think? You prefer which cover, or what's your?
Well, as a girl, of course, yes.
This one.
This could have worked. But no, I think it was the best choice, just the neutral one.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to understand what the title means, you understand. Otherwise, you keep being innocent.
New generation.
Yes, right.
It was the right in between.
actually, but maybe the one with the girl is more 80s. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. When I think about something slippery, I also think about something sweaty. I don't know. So maybe seeing like a girl with a t-shirt like that, and maybe that was also a good choice. I don't know. I love them both. They're so different, but they can mean the same thing. So good job on both.
So, Mark, we
Okay.
are the old generation, so for sure we prefer the boobs and
Yeah.
your photos. So it's perfect. Just kidding. Barbara.
And about the photo shoots that you did with them, I have some curiosity questions. You mentioned the hair, and also there was makeup involved. Did they have a staff doing that, or they were doing everything on their own on the set?
No, they were part of the whole thing. The entourage of makeup. I would get the makeup artist, the hair person. It was. They were like, when I was do band shoots at the time, they were like fashion models, and they liked it. They would just sit there and get makeup done, and I have pictures of them doing it. I never would ever want to release that because you don't want to know that they're doing makeup,
So, Mark, there is many fans that are asking about the bundle and your signature. So, Alicia, please, can you show the bundle so all the fans can? Okay, this bundle is the book and two photos. They are signed and personalized copy by Mark Weiss. Okay, and plus the two photos. You can find that on the dedicatedrocket.com website, directly on that website, right? The book, signed and personalized copy, okay, and you can write your dedication when you check out, right? There is a space on the website, right, Mark?
Yeah. Now, I've had some interest with some of these bundles, but because the book weighs so much, 6 pounds, 1 ounce, it's really expensive to ship internationally. So like people say, is that a mistake? And it's like, no, that's what it is. But I'm working on trying to find some other way to do it. So, if you're in overseas, it might make more sense to, get it, at a bookstore or through Amazon, and also you don't have it signed though. That's the thing. I'm just trying to, give a couple extra things with it to make it doesn't seem, so if you think about what the extra cost with the book is for shipping, and you really want that signature, and then you have some photos to balance it off a little bit to make it a kind of a good deal, because I want people to have what they want. And I'm trying to look for ways to, bring it down a little bit. I never really sold things like a book that was so heavy before. So I was surprised too that the shipping was that much. So it's a learning curve. You can always email, I've been getting emails, decade.rocked@gmail.com, which is on the website, to, write me something. I write everything. A fan writes to me, I'll write them back, I have a question.
And I want also to say sorry to all the fans, because Mark asked me to choose the two photos with your signature, and I have chosen I've chosen that one with Alicia, the classic one with slippery one. Well, this one is 8x8 inch with this one, and I've chosen also and for the miracle photo shoot this one. So I think it's moreover the girls can choose this one, and there is also the band. So
I don't know why you didn't choose.
It's my fault.
I don't know why you didn't. I was a little disappointed because I was hoping you would have picked the one of me in the tent.
Yeah. Exactly. So, or maybe if you want to buy the personalized book, also you can share the shipping cost. Maybe you can buy 2 or 3
Well, that's-
right?
Yeah.
yeah. I might,
And you can share the shipping
Groups.
cost. Let's see. But
I might even, for the international buyers, I might add in another photo. Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just try something. I don't want to upset the U.S. people, but they get a good deal.
yeah. Here we are also fans from Canada. They are asking if you can ship the book also in Canada. There is South America. So I think everywhere.
Yeah, it's what you put it in there, and you just mark the country you're in. Canada might be more doable. Like I said, I'm just learning in the shipping stuff, so I don't want that to scare anyone that really wants it signed by me. I'd rather have a little more piece of me in your house. I know I would if I was an artist that I liked. So don't let it scare you away right now. If you check back maybe in a few days or in a week, I'll figure out this postage situation, because I'm not. I had no idea it was gonna cost that.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's more than the book. It's like
Yeah.
Of
It
course,
is.
of course, of
And
course.
about these two shots that Max picked for the bundle, one is the iconic, photo shoot for Slippery When Wet, and the other one is John, Blaze of Glory period. You said it's the miracle. Was it more difficult to work with the whole band, or paradoxically was more difficult to work with John alone? What's your point of view?
Yeah, it's always easier to work with one person than five. Let's face it. Five people are like, everyone's got everyone's individual, so everyone's got their own needs and wants different things. But it's always easier to shoot one person. And John was amazing. Very cooperative. When he didn't want to do something, he would tell me. And if I really wanted something and I said, you have to, I said, John, come on, really, please, he would trust me and do it. Like in the case of the shot that's in the book with the rainbow, I said, John, it was at the, on top of the butte, and we were, it was downtime, but he's tired, he's doing the video shoot, and he didn't want to do the shot. And I'm like, John, just come over here, trust me. And I was really adamant about it. Just, don't turn around. I said, don't turn around. It's like, Mark, come on, leave me alone. I'm tired. And so I said, just do me a favor, just stand there. And I kind of put on a little show, which I normally don't do, but I saw this rainbow just come out of nowhere. No one saw it yet. And then I put him there, and I put it perfectly where it should be. And then I said, okay, now turn around. And then he saw the rainbow. And they use that for, I think, the back of the cover and a lot of the promo posters and things like that. So, they trust me. I know not to overstep. And when I do overstep, they'll tell me, and I'll say, okay, and just kind of, walk away with my tail between my legs.
Mark, can you show some photos directly from the book?
The book.
If you can. Some very special, or because there is one photo that one of the most iconic moment in the rock history. I'm talking about the Moscow Music Peace Festival.
Oh yeah.
I know that there are some photos from that incredible festival, and this book is really amazing. Wow.
This photo,
Wow.
I feel like a photo of them walking off the plane, and that's them on the plane too, with Jason Bonham, and John and Tom Kiefer and Richie and Zach Wild, playing. So the shot of them walking off the plane, I wanted to make sure I was the first one off. We landed, everyone was starting to get out because it was a long flight, and I was like, whoa, wait, everybody, wait, let me get out first. So I got out, and there was a couple other photographers there, and they all got out. Actually, I think I was the only. There was maybe a couple of people on board, but there was a lot of photographers in Russia that were just news photographers. I wanted to make sure I got the shot and I didn't get stuck in the back. So I got out, and I basically waited for them to come down. And you just get what you get. And that photo, there's John in the front with a big smile, and then you have you know, Richie in the back with the peace thing on, like he's
Wow.
and then you have Ozzy kind of doing this, you know, kind of, you know, trying to figure things out. And then you got Vince, who the Motley at the time were sober, so he didn't look too happy really because he was sober, you know. And so he was anointed that I caught, and that was, you know, I just nailed it. And then after that, in the book, there was I got everyone to like pose in the front with Peter Max was on the plane too, who designed the artwork. So I got Peter Max to you know, do the peace sign, and I put him in the middle as he should be, and then I orchestrated all these other guys, you know, about 40 or 50 of them, which was no small task. And then the other photographers are there too, like taking photos at the same time. So we all got similar photos, but you know, I was like, guys, look over here, you know, I'm the guy, you know, and it was hard, you know, because they would be kidding around, they'd give me the finger and this and that. So, but you know,
that festival was insane. I mean, that was huge, and had a lot of, you know, a huge impact and also a huge meaning in that period. How did you live that, you know, from this point of view? And was it more cool or exhausting for you since you've been working all the time?
It was exhausting. There was so much going on. I couldn't turn around, not do anything. And then these are some other photos in there.
Wow.
Yeah, John in the crowd.
Yeah.
And
yes.
There's some backstage shots.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And also in the book is photos of a year previously when I went with Doc McGee and the band in the middle of winter to look at the stadium and take photos and let, you know, kind of like just meet the dignitaries that put it all together. So that was exciting, and that was like in Rolling Stone. So that was, you know,
there are fans from Moscow now live, and they say Moscow is here. I don't know if you can. I don't know. No. Okay, no problem. And you know, last year in 2019, it was the 30th anniversary. Because from Moscow, because the band played there in Moscow after 30 years from the Music Moscow Festival, and you have also a photograph of John with the iconic police jacket, you know, from USSR, Soviet. You have one photo, right?
Yeah.
Is there because it's
that was the night before we did a sound check, and I love that kind of stuff. You know?
There was in the middle of this one. This one is this police. It was one of the iconic images, like you have shooted in from the band.
And Mark, John here has a camera in his hands. Was he taking shots as well?
Yeah, he was taking pictures, and you know, he took a few of me too while I was taking his picture. But you know, everyone was there. We're all tourists, you know, and we're at a place that we've never been before, and we're excited to be there. Yeah, everywhere you turn, there was a new photograph to be taken.
Wow.
So you Mark also worked with, as we already mentioned, with Cinderella and Skid Row, who were in Moscow as well and were connected in some way, you know, to Bon Jovi. Was there any competition between them, or they were really, you know, such a big family as we perceived from the outside? What is your feeling about it?
They were, you know, especially Skid Row and Bon Jovi at the time. They were like, you know, they were like blood brothers, because Snake used to come to, like, when I used to do photo shoots with John, he would come to the photo shoots, and I never really connected with Snake at the time. You know, he was just his friend, and I was just very like focused into doing the photo shoot. You know, we said hi and everything, but we never like exchanged numbers or anything. So, you know, Snake and John grew up together, and they always had this pact that they'd help the other one out, whoever made it first. And you know, John stuck to it and helped, you know, support Skid Row. He you know, put him on tour with him, and had some kind of he had a lot of involvement, you know, with Doc McGee and whatnot. So
and you, Mark, introduced Sebastian to Skid Row, is that correct? Yeah.
So at my wedding in 1987, I invited everyone, all the bands, like Cinderella was invited, Bon Jovi. I think Cinderella was on tour with Bon Jovi at the time, so they couldn't make it. But I was friendly with John's parents, and I invited them. And Skid Row, or Sebastian, was in a band called Madam X that I shot maybe half a year earlier, and I became friends with him. So I invited him to come in the whole band, so they were there. And at that point, at the end of the concert or the end of the wedding band kind of like stopped, and then Sebastian orchestrated a jam with Kevin Dubrow from Quiet Riot and Zach. And at that point, Zach just got into Ozzy. I introduced Zach to Ozzy as well, and he was there, but he didn't record with him yet. So everyone was hanging out, having fun, and they ended up doing a few songs. And afterwards, Sebastian went over to I introduced him to John Bon Jovi's parents, and they I think his mother had told Sebastian that they were looking for a singer. And then, he didn't think much of it, but my friend Dave Feld, who was my best man at the wedding, actually got the tapes exchanged and, got them to audition him. And, as soon as they met him, he got the gig.
Well, that's a great story. And concerning marriages, weddings, you also been hired as a photographer, as a wedding photographer and that, tells a lot about how friends you are with Bon Jovi. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, they got married in Graceland, that was, in the little church there. So I wasn't at that ceremony. It was just very private, intimate. They didn't want to make a big deal out of it. But when they came back in the summer, they wanted to have a big party and invite everybody. So I was invited as a guest, and I wasn't going to shoot the party. I was just going to go as a guest. I had my friend Danny Sanchez do that. But then John, I think it was the morning of the party, he called me up and he said, "Hey, can you come over to the house and take some photos of me and Dorothea at our house," which was 2 miles from me, And I said, sure. And wait a minute. Actually, John lived in Rumson, which was 5 minutes from me at the time. Then he moved later on, but we did the shoot there at his house, his first house in Rumson. And then we took some photographs, and then we flew over to, he took me in the limousine with him. I got pictures in the limousine, and I went in the helicopter, and we got pictures in the helicopter, and then got to the party. So that was that, and it was my wedding present to him, that was that. And then Heather and Richie, and when Heather and Richie got married, he wanted me to photograph it because he knew it was going to be a spectacle and just trusted me. And again, I was only supposed to shoot the wedding in France. And then the day before we left, they were having the nuptials at their house at early in the morning. And he just called me up that morning and said, "Can you come over to the house and take photos?" They're pretty much in sweats, but he wanted me to document it. So I documented that for him of the real nuptials in his house in Rumson.
Wow. So, Mark, can you show us some other photos from the book, if you can, about Bon Jovi? What you prefer? There is also some from the wedding, I think, or something.
Oh, there it is.
That one, wow.
Wow. Wow.
And then this,
Beautiful.
This is when he gave away the house on MTV.
Wow.
And I was there for that. Anything that they had. And this is Giant Stadium. They had the big homecoming show.
Wow.
Billy Squire,
Wow.
Sam Kinison, and Sebastian. Then there's that. What else there? Here's this is Bon Jovi in Russia.
Wow.
My boss.
Wow.
And their press release in New Jersey album.
Sam Kinison.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's really amazing. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
A lot of stuff.
Great book.
So, Mark, just one quick thing. Since you are from Jersey, of course, what happened to Alec? You know, after
Riapri,
the
ti sta
rock
facendo vedere il
call.
video.
Wow. I mean, this book, guys, this book is really highly recommended. And there's also a lot of stories. I see text there. Is there any Bon Jovi interview inside the book?
No. And by the way, this is the wedding I was just talking about. There's Sebastian, and there's Zach over here. Oh, everything's backwards here. That's me.
Yeah.
We interviewed Dave Bryan. He gave a quote in there. There's a photo here. This is when I went with the bands on their plane.
Yeah.
So let's see. I think there's a shot of Bon Jovi in their plane somewhere.
So you were, I mean, able to shoot 24 hours. I mean, on the plane as well.
Yeah.
You could
do
whatever you wanted.
Pretty much. They told me when to put it away if I got in their face too much, but Jeff wasn't here. This is the photo of them on the plane.
Yeah.
And this is when he had the MTV contest, the hedonism. But here's something that Dave Bryan wrote. He wrote, Bon Jovi took the rock and roll message around the world, around the planet, and we wanted to have it chronicled. And Mark was the guy to do it, Dave Bryan.
Wow.
A lot of quotes from the artists. They're not in. We've interviewed them. Like we probably interviewed David for 45 minutes, and originally it was going to be more involved, and then we decided it's all going to be narrative from me and me tell the story and just put little quotes on the photos. I would have preferred more from them, but the publisher said it's really, this book is about you, and we want to highlight it with quotes from the artists. So I'm good. I was good with it.
Wow.
So since you're from Jersey, I was asking before, do you have any news about Alec? I mean, do you know where he is, and do you see him, or what happened to him after the rock call? We lose trace.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is when I was reading my newspaper, in the local newspaper, and it said in the classify section, Alec Van Such is selling all his contents to his house.
Yeah.
Gold records, guitars, and tour books. I'm like, really? I drove over to his house. I've been there before, and he has all these people doing this auction. Do I hear $20? Do I hear $30? And it was kind of going on, and I couldn't believe what was going on. And I didn't have I would have wanted some things. They weren't going for that much money either. But I couldn't. I don't know. I just felt uncomfortable being there, and I didn't know what was going on. And then Alec saw me, and he brought me down to the basement and said, "Mark, I just want you to know that, and he kind of poured everything out to me, as a friend, just because I don't know how much at that time he talking with the band and letting what was going on. So he just said, I want to just get out of Dodge. I think he said, I'm just selling everything. I'm going to get myself a motorhome and just see the country. And then that's the last I heard from him. I did hear from him when John invited him to play Giant Stadium. I don't know how many more years later. And then he did show up. He did play a song, I think. I forget when it was. And that was it, and I talked to him a little bit then, and that was it, really. And I always liked Alec. He was just a fun guy, he's funny, kind of a little quirky, but good guy.
And who was in Bon Jovi? Who was the wildest one, during the photo shoots? The unruly child of the band, which
I don't want to. As far as at the photo shoots, everyone's disciplined, out of the photo shoots, I'd say Richie, because, I would be on the road with him, and then he's like, Mark, come on over. I want to see some of those pictures, from last time you were with me. So I go to his I go in there and he's in bed with Cher, you know, and they're just like, you know, hanging out, and I'm showing them pictures while they're hanging out. I'm like, damn, that's rock and roll. Like that's and then later on, you know, Heather, you know, but you know, Richie just liked to have fun, and you know, had a few drinks here and there, like we all did. But as far as anything crazy or wild, not really, nothing I wouldn't do, which isn't saying much, you know. But you know, but you know, nothing crazy, you know, nothing the average rock star wouldn't do or has done.
Okay.
Okay.
Luca, you have a question, right?
Luca.
Yeah, I have a question. I just want to ask you, do you have any funny story when you were photo shooting Bon Jovi and you want to tell us about?
A funny story.
Nothing you can tell.
Great reply, great answers. Thank you, Mark.
No, I have a funny story. Sam, they did a video together, Sam Kinison and Bon Jovi, where they did some kind of intro. You probably know which one it is.
Bad medicine.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. And I used to have this toy camera that shoots water. A little tiny. It looks like a toy. A little plastic thing, you know. And Sam was there, and John was there, and I kind of like, got, you know, John with it, you know, with the camera, and then I turned around and I says, all right, I was gonna get someone else, and so then you know, Sam was there, and I turned it, and then I got Sam, and then he was like, you laughed, but he wasn't too amused. Oh no! And then I turned around. I didn't do John first, and then I said, I'm gonna go get John, and then I pointed it at John. And then I turned the little nozzle around to get Sam again. And then when I went to shoot John, and you know, John would have got wet, it ended up getting Sam. And then, you know, and he laughed, but I found out later on that he wasn't amused. He was like, Sam was pissed at me. I saw him I saw him a year later. He wouldn't even let me in the show. He's like, his brother said, he goes, what'd you do with you know, you got that one camera, you know. And then we kind of became friends. I had a picture of him in the magazine, and we became friends and all that. So yeah, it took me a while to think of how it happened and everything, but I'm pretty sure that's how it happened.
Cool.
A quick one. Mark, which is your favorite Bon Jovi song? Out of Slippery or whatever?
Wanted, Dead or Alive, but is, you know, hard ass, you know, it's motorcycles, you know, kind of, you know, yeah.
Maura, you have some question for Mark?
Maura. My mic was muted. Sorry. No, I was just checking all her career, trying to find out information about just one thing that comes to my mind. You took picture of the best rock and roll bands in the world, and you kept on working over the years, but when was the last time you really felt the rock and roll with someone, the real rock and roll of 80s and 90s? When was the last time you shoot someone and felt that atmosphere that you remember?
You mean today or back then, or? No.
So far, the last time you felt the real rock and roll atmosphere.
Oh, actually, I shot the Struts, and I thought they were really cool, you know, and I. There should be more bands like that, you know. I like bands with an image and that don't even try. And those guys are just great all the way around. It's like a mixture of like all the bands that I liked. So if they were back in the 80s and all the magazines needed pictures, I would probably be one of the guys that be a little bit more assertive in shooting them. I mean, I did, you know, shoot them. I did an interview with one of the guys, but you know. There's not a photo, unfortunately.
We have some question from the fans from home. So just 2 or 3, not more. Let's see. Sarah asks, is there an artist or a band you wish to have worked with, but you never had the chance to?
I mean, the Stones and Led Zeppelin, I've shot them both live, but I've never hung out backstage or did anything like that. And of course, going back a few decades before I was even, shooting, was like, the 3 J's, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison. So,
Wow.
those 3 are, just, picture and the aura that they give in any photograph you see of them. So I guess that would be the one. Zeppelin and the Stones, they're still around. I'm still available if they see the book and they want some photographs taken on the road. I'm the guy. But was the era to document.
Fair. So we want to say one more time how to buy the book on the website, just to see, because there are other fans that they are connected just last minute, so we can show them how to buy the book. There are different options. One is maybe the easiest is from Amazon. Just the book.
Just go to your local Amazon store. You will find it.
Yeah, or maybe on the website dedicaterocket.com, you can find a special Bon Jovi bundle just for us. So there are 2 photos, autographed, signed prints by Mark Weiss, is Slippery When Wet, and John on the motorcycle during Miracle shooting, and Bon Jovi book bundle, my favorite. This one is a signed and personalized copy of the book by Mark Weiss, and the 2 photos. There is a special offer.
The bundle is available on www.dedicaterocket.com. Go there. There's the shop. Go in the shop. You'll find it. Otherwise, Amazon, and I think any good library.
This is highly recommended for all the Bon Jovi fans, but for all the fans that love the 80s and the decade that rocket. And I was a teenager in the 80s.
I was born in the 80s.
I was born in too.
I was a teenager as well.
Yeah, of course. So there are new generation, old generation, first generation, and many fans from all over the world. But Mark, a question about Bon Jovi members. Richie now lives in Los Angeles, right, California, and Tico is in Florida. I'm wrong. John wants to move to Florida, maybe. We don't know. Everyone seems to move around.
Yeah, I think his house is for sale. This house is for sale.
Yeah. That's it. Are you thinking to stay in New Jersey, right? Because there is you, Bruce, maybe David Bryan want to stay there. Please stay there, because the Jersey sound and the historical part of the New Jersey needs to be stayed there.
I actually am probably gonna, my son lives in Florida, so he just moved. I have my 4-year-old.
Is everyone moving to Florida now? What's happening? Are you moving Jersey to Florida now? Everyone is going there.
I'm going to keep this house, though. I love this house. I love New Jersey. I love the beach being 2 miles down the road. I love walking around to the beach. It's something about the seasons you can't beat, and the people here are amazing. And it's close to New York City. It's if you were born in Jersey, lived in Jersey, I don't know why you'd want to leave New Jersey. Grandson.
So let's hope for the 2021, just in case all this pandemic will be over and the concert will still going on for the fans and everyone. So maybe with fans from Europe, we can fly overseas and reach you there in New Jersey, maybe New Midland Stadium or New York as well. So to meet up at the Bon Jovi concerts, maybe somewhere next year. Let's hope. Let's
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah.
Barbara, I think is okay with Marco. You have
Okay, if
many.
we have time for one last question, I have one, but I don't know
Sure.
if we do. Okay, so a strict photography question. So you're more a digital or film guy, and do you prefer the live set or the studio shoots? Which is the best of both worlds, let's say?
Yeah. Well, as far as digital and regular film, you know, in the transition, it was hard, you know, but I had no choice because I was working for a magazine called Bravo in Germany, and they needed, and they were a weekly, and I had to I had to get them the pictures right away, and they'd have to go through customs if I had to actually mail them. So they didn't. If I wanted to continue working with them, I really had to get a digital camera. The quality wasn't the greatest at the time, but it didn't really matter. It was good enough for the magazine, and then I slowly kind of got into it, and then. I eventually, probably within a year, that was all I did. When the camera and the pixels started catching up with where it needed to be, I was 100% digital. The downfall of digital is that if I did a photo shoot for an hour, it would take me 3 hours to edit. Where the other way, you just send it to the lab and look at them, and you can look pretty quick and edit them within like 20 minutes. So. But then, digital, you can continue to shoot. That's just it. You just keep going crazy. You have images unbelievable, and it's instant, and it's So I for sure. And the question about studio,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I personally like to hang out with bands and go on the road and tour with them, go in their bunk and go to the next town, like gypsies that we were, rock and roll gypsies. So. That's more fun. What's more rewarding is doing album covers and doing control and studio shoots and things. So, if I would have a choice, I want to do that one album cover because only one photographer gets that privilege to shoot. And that image will remain forever. That Slippery When Wet cover will remain forever in whatever format it is. It went from CD to digital to who knows what. It could be a microchip in your head, and you just close your eyes and think of the song, and there's the Slippery When Wet cover. Who knows? So, so I say both, but I'd rather just not have any pressure and just go on the road with a band and party and have fun and just look for images and do what I do.
Yeah.
Is your job something that you would recommend? I mean, to a young, like a young boy or girl which is watching now, is it something you would recommend? And if you were born again, you would definitely be a photographer once again, or something else?
No, I mean, that's what I had. No choice. I had to be a photographer. I was really not really academic in school. I had a head injury when I was 12 and lost my memory, and I couldn't remember things, so I didn't do good on tests and things like that. So I didn't want to be mowing lawns, for the rest of my life, have a landscaping business. Is that something I wanted to do? I wanted to, have some fame and fortune and like everyone else. So when I had the opportunity with the photography, and I had no choice unless I just wanted to mow lawns. So that's, for me, there's no choice. Now, if someone's is really is an intellectual and could be a doctor or have other options like that, and they want to be a photographer too, and there was a choice of the two, I'd say be a doctor, But if you don't care about being a doctor and making a ton of money, and you just want to go for what your passion is, and if it is at the time photography, I'd say go for that and just figure out a way how you can make money. And the way to make money now is create a social following, create a mailing list by posting your own photographs and making your own website like I did. I have a site called Rock Scene Magazine that I kind of worked for as a kid, a teenager, a couple times, and then I took over. I have the trademark, and I kind of relaunched it, paying homage to that magazine by posting all the magazines that anyone can look at. It doesn't cost anything. They could look at it, post them, read them, just to show that there's such thing as a rock and roll magazine. So it's my way to kind of to the generations to come to see that. And also I have a section to interview people. Most of them I've shot, but other people too that I've interviewed, and it's just about how they became who they are. I don't want to know once you became Bon Jovi or once you became Motley Crue. I want to know up to that point where you had your first bit of success. So going back to when you first got introduced to music, whether it was you know, a brother giving you a CD or your father bringing you to a Elvis Presley concert or seeing the Beatles the first time. So the stories are really like campfire stories. Like you're just kind of sitting around and telling the story, and it's literally a 10 or 15 minute interview. So I have over 100 of them on my YouTube channel. That's also tied into my website, and that's one element. And then the other element is like I love taking photographs, even though I can't make money with them. I could post them and this and that, but I always like seeing my photographs placed somewhere. So I actually made a home for it, which is my Rock Scene magazine. And whenever I do an event or a concert or a photo shoot, I can, you know, go through the whole process like I did in the 80s, show the band, get approval if I needed to, and then post these pictures, live photos posed, and make them tell a little story. And I would lay them out really nice in the layouts, and then give it to them to post to their fans, and people can take them and do whatever they want. I have my little watermark on it. So I still do that. I'm actually looking for photographers that I've been so busy with this book for the last 5 years. I haven't really done any shooting. And unfortunately now it's not a time to ask for photographers to send material in. But if there's any photographers in there, you know, you can go to the website, see what I do, and just send me an email. There's an email address there. And if you want to contribute as a Rock Scene photographer, we might be able to help you get photo passes if it works out, and if I can be inspiration to someone, then and they can take it somewhere, then why not?
Great.
Perfect. Mark, before we say hi and before we say thank you, after you there is a guy that I call a new rock star from London, UK. I want to introduce you. He will play for us later. Angelo Tristan from Collateral.
Hey man,
Angelo.
Hello.
Angelo, welcome. So my advice is up to you. And
yeah, Mark, how you doing? Yeah, no, I was watching for like quite a while there, and a lot of the pictures that you were talking about, I was not fantasizing over, not that way, but like as a 13-year-old kid, I've seen all those photos that you were showing. I didn't realize that. Yeah, it's crazy. So it's a lot of my childhood was built up upon that imagery, and you know, trying to live up to that sort of image, and that's crazy that you're there. So yeah, nice to meet you.
Thanks. Well, just looking at you, you'd probably be a band that I want to photograph, because I always love, you know, bands that have a vibe. You seem like you got a cool vibe and an attitude. Yeah,
well, I mean, you know, I'm like you. I think image has got a massive part to play when it's not forced, and it's kind of more of a lifestyle sort of thing. And yeah, I mean, we're trying to do that. I mean, my bass player Jack is the most unforced sort of drunkard rock star you could try and think of, but you know, so I try to go in his footsteps.
I'll check out your band for sure. Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It's Collateral. So Angelo has opened with his band for Felix last tour in UK, and he has played also on the last Runaway to Paradise with JBJ Cruise in the Mediterranean last August.
Wow.
So
great.
yeah, he has a great success on board on that ship, and also opening for Felix. So tonight we are honored to have you, Mark. Thanks for everything, for your book, for your images, for your stories, and everything, and for your time. And
Max, let's hope that the second book will be a special Bon Jovi book. Okay.
I don't like to do like these one shots without the artist endorsement. You know, like I've always. Like I've been asking John, I think for the last 10 years, I said, and I remember like, it might've been 15 years ago. I said, you know, how about let's do a book, you know? And he's like, ask me next year. And then 5 years would go by, and I kind of gave up. And I got like, you know what? I don't want there to be like an individual book, because I have a lot of the same with Ozzy. I've approached Sharon and Ozzy. You know, I love to do an Ozzy book. They're like, not yet. And I haven't approached any of them lately. So after this book, and they can see the quality of it and what I've accomplished with it, I think it would be a good time to, like, you know, pull them out. I feel like I can do a book on, you know, Guns N' Roses, Van Halen, Bon Jovi, and
Kiss.
And Kiss, yeah. You know, I like to have their endorsement. At some point, you know, I'm getting older, they're getting older, and if they keep saying no, I mean, I might not have a choice, but I like to have them involved. You know, that's my main thing to do.
Well, so. Mark, you mentioned that you obviously with the whole Sebastian Bach stuff and the whole Skid Row thing. Well, we're supporting. We were meant to be supporting Skid Row on their European tour in May, but obviously that got all cancelled. But that's been now rescheduled to next May. That's like Sweden, Switzerland, Finland, Norway, and whatever. And then October and November is in the UK and another European tour. And then it's Australia, Japan in December, I believe. And then the beginning of 2022 should be America. So we'll have to hit you up. And
you come over to the house, and I have a photo studio in my house now. I make everything's easy, you know. I'm here, I'm sitting there, I go to work, I walk over to my office, and my studio is I turn my living room into my studio, and I have a big backyard and have barbecues, and, you know, it's not like when I lived in New York and did all those
Right,
photos.
so we are all invited if you come over to Jersey. Is that okay?
Dinner, barbecue.
We could take a picture where I shot this. That's by the post office in Red.
Wow.
I mean, I put the sign there, so the sign's not there.
Wow.
We could Photoshop it.
Oh, nice. Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a deal.
It's a deal for you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank
No, I'm
you,
excited
Mark.
about it. Yeah. I mean, Skid Row, one of my biggest influences, one of them. And so we only got notified about it, you know, a few months ago. So it's after the Bon Jovi thing all happened and the Skid and the Phil X thing. And then, our booking agent basically said, right, you've got the whole Skid Row, you know, world tour. So hopefully that will be, you know, it's quite cool, because not many bands get these opportunities now when they get on the back of a bigger band. It's really such a tough time to try and get on a big band's list. So we're honored to do that. So hopefully we'll meet you in no time.
Yeah, and as soon as we get off, I'm gonna check out your website and
nice.
and check you out and some YouTube videos. I'm sure you got them up there, right? How many videos?
No, there's I just type in Collateral on YouTube. There's one actually when I'm on stage with Phil X, which is one of the most recent ones, when he invited me up onto the stage, and we did Van Halen, because obviously he loves Van Halen, so we did a bit of Van Halen. But there's tons of stuff on YouTube and whatnot.
Okay,
so
I'll check it out.
that would be great. I'm honored. Thank you.
You seem humbled, which is good, you know, but you're probably, you know, when I see the videos, I'm sure I'm going to be like, that's a rock.
Oh, I'm an egotistical prick in the videos, man. Trust me.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell.
Cool.
No,
You gotta
Okay.
be. Like, you seem like a nice guy, you know, and that's appeals to fans, and even like bands like Bon Jovi and Skid Row. To, you know, I'm sure when they meet you, they like you, and probably the guys in the band are really nice, and that's important, you know. Even
I'm definitely. I mean, I met John when I was wearing pink, though, and I got told by one of the people that John hates pink. So and I don't know how. There's a picture of it somewhere. But I was. It was such a crazy time, because obviously, being a band on the cruise. I asked, I think on the first day, I said, listen, what's the likelihood I could possibly meet John? And they were very, you know, standoffish about it, which is understandable. But then after the show, it was during the show, the main show on the pool deck, I had some random guy come up to me about, right, Angelo, right, I can get you to meet John, but you're gonna have to meet me here in like 30 minutes. And I'm like, he just leaves me, right? And I look like deer in headlights at the moment. Everyone's looking back at me. Well, what did this guy say? So well, he said I can meet John, and everyone's like, what? And then anyway, he comes back 5 minutes later, and he's like, oh, I can't make it happen. And then he comes back 5 minutes later and says, oh, I can make it happen. And I'm like, you know, about to have a stroke at this point. Yeah, but then eventually he says, right, come with me now. But have you got anything else rather than that top? And I'm like, well, you just poured me out of the you poured me out of the hot tub. Obviously I haven't got anything else. So I went in there soaking wet with a sailor's hat, and you know, in the picture he looks more scared than I do, to be honest.
Where's the photo? I want to see that. Is it on your website?
I think they've got the photo on this. You've got the photo somewhere, haven't you? Right. Yeah.
No, there are some photos of Angelo on stage. Let's see.
I mean, and you know the funny thing is, I can't remember that whatsoever. I was so when they pulled the curtain open and I saw him, I just completely my mind must have shut down because I can't remember. But my daughter does say to me, "You didn't piss him off. It's fine." But yeah, I can't remember meeting him whatsoever. I can't remember it at all, which is a shame. I was just struck.
Well, one thing you had going for you, you had your daughter with you because John loves kids, you know.
I know, yeah. He knelt down to her and said she was crying. She was obviously in this shock, and yeah, he knelt down to her and said, "Oh, did someone step on your foot?" And she was just like, but yeah, it was a magical moment, and to see that, and I remember just going straight up to him and just giving a massive hug. That's all I can remember. But you know, yeah, childhood sort of soundtrack.
Yeah.
So it was, and still to this day, you know, I just haven't. Bon Jovi for me was everything I needed in a time where I didn't really know what I wanted to do in my life and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a magical journey up to that point as well.
Nice.
Cool.
Perfect.
So
good to see you together.
What do you want to do, Max? So
It's up to you guys. If you want to talk together, for me, no problem. I think Angelo, now I think it's time to play for us something.
Oh, well, I was going to say, because Mark, you said you were good friends with Richie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, yeah, again, I'm, you know, going to get it out. But yeah, Richie Sambora was like my hero. I've got that there. I've got the whole Jersey Star thing, whatever it is. Where is it? I look like a mental. Yeah, the whole Jersey Star.
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, no. So yeah, I was. I mean, if we're doing let's see. Okay, well, I'm in a Richie mood now, just because of that. So, it's quite late in the UK at the moment, and I live with my nan-in-law, so I think I'm gonna have to try and keep it quite quiet. Okay. When I look at you, you're beautiful. There comes a time in someone's life when you find the things that matter. And every time we touch, our love runs deep. You realize it's ours to keep, and that's all it matters. You'll always be my sweet addiction in this life, my saving grace. Girl, you're all that really matters. You know it's true, so true. Ain't no me without you. When you're in the dark, in torn despair, just a spark away. I will be there, and that's all that matters. You'll always be my sweet addiction in this life, my saving grace. Girl, you're all that really matters. You know it's true. Ain't no me without you. When we turn to dust and we fly away, there'll be a light still burning bright, and that's all that really matters. Richie.
Yeah, thank you, Angelo. Okay, Mark. Mark,
Yeah.
before to say hi, you have a beautiful jacket.
Oh yeah.
You have a beautiful jacket, and I saw behind you some passes.
Yeah. Well,
right? This is the last question, and then you can go.
Right.
So for tonight.
So my room is like a museum, you know, things that means things to me. Like I have my gold record. I have a guitar that Zach gave me on my birthday last year, hanging up. I have my camera I'm looking at right at me as I'm sitting here that I got from mowing the lawn, you know, for mowing this guy's lawn. So that's looking at me. My first bandana is hanging on the camera, and then I have my laminates around. I have a guitar that my kid, when he was little, I took him to his first Kiss concert with them signing it, and that's hanging up. And then up on top of that is my tour jacket collection. And I figured I haven't put this on since I got it like 30 years ago. This is from 1990, from the Final Countdown Japan tour. They gave me a little WEISSGUY.
That's badass, man. Wow.
And then back here is my laminates. Here's my son.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, well, that's cool stuff.
He's 27 now, and he's got a 4-year-old. So
it's exactly like me.
there's a picture of me back in the day.
Wow.
That's when my hair.
Nice.
What else do I got? Yeah. I mean, this is just a small little bit. I just started putting these together. But,
Oh my god.
That
Oh,
crushed
wow.
it.
you know,
Wow, yeah.
so
Angelo.
it's fun. And my gold records, my first, let's see if I could,
Wow. It's a museum.
Wow. Yeah.
Here,
So cool.
Wow.
so.
Wow.
I was going to say, Mark, did you ever capture John in the how do I call it? The multicolored Technicolor Dreamcoat.
What was that?
It was in the 80s. It was because my girlfriend made basically an exact replica of it. It was last year. It was I don't know what shows he wore it. It was in the 80s.
What did it look like? I don't.
Right, if you, I'll literally be 2 seconds, and I'll show you.
Mark, can you stay with us a little bit more, or you? Okay, sorry, because I asked if just in case it was not planned. Yeah, but they are the funnest thing, right? A view inside the room.
Mm-hmm. Put it on.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
So this is my girlfriend made this, but it's basically a replica of this.
Lay your hands on
Okay.
me. You mean lay your hands on me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I have that. Yeah.
Because Yeah, she.
Cool.
This is I wore this the first time we played a festival in the UK in front of a few thousand people, and it kind of got more of a better response than we did. So, you don't see bands do that sort of kind of thing anymore, which is a bit of a shame. But that's yeah, it was crazy because when I saw the photo of the one in Moscow with the long coat, I think it was that sort of time scale.
Angelo, look at this pic. It's you with is you jumping with
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I can't wait to see you. You look like you guys would be a lot of fun to shoot and watch.
Well, I love your work, man. So yeah, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Perfect. Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
For joining us tonight.
Thank you.
It was amazing journey in the 80s. Thanks for your stories again. Hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
And we know you are busy with promoting your book, and fans, if you have there is an email on the website, so for any questions, write to Mark and ask him everything for you, some photos, book bundle, whatever, right?
Yeah. And I'll tell you this one thing that I did, because you try to find different things to have fun with, and one of my friends did a movie called Gone for the Weekend that's on Amazon Prime, and he asked me to do a cameo as me as a rock photographer. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I did it. He basically met me in a diner, and he's like, are you Mark Weiss? Are you the guy that got Sebastian the gig in Skid Row? And he was kind of like being a fanboy, and then he would go back and he'd come back, and then he's like, I told him I was going to a concert, and he's like, oh, I'm going to be at that concert. Can you get me backstage? And long story short, I met him there, and he tried to go back, and he didn't, snuck in. So it's kind of like a funny thing. So we took that, and I wrote that. I helped with Troy, the director and writer of it. We kind of wrote myself in for another 20 minutes of the movie. And I kind of liked it. I got the little bit of the acting bug and the creative part of being in the film. So I was bugging him like for a long time to like, let's do a spin-off of that. Let's let the characters be and turn it into like you guys are stalking the WEISSGUY. And that's because that's what they did in the movie. And because there were a bunch of guys that never grew up from the 80s, they never grew up, and they were still into rock and roll and partying and going to strip clubs. And that's what the movie was. It was a romantic comedy. And so I took the clips from that movie, and we added a few other scenes and things, and we turned it into like a 12-minute episodic adventure of the WEISSGUY. And I have just released the one. We're going to have flashback scenes that we were just going to shoot before the pandemic hit. So we're going to add some flashback scenes of someone playing me when I was, in the 20s, and someone playing them as like 12-year-olds.
Oh yeah,
everyone loves that stuff, So so it's out now, and there's links on my YouTube channel. The Decade That Rocked, the YouTube channel has a lot of little extra videos. That's on there. Little clips of. We started the live stream event I did yesterday with Osei Can You Stream with Dave Elfson with Megadeth. And Tom has
cool.
That was a 4.5-hour event, which I just posted on I'm going to be posting the whole thing, and it's interviews with Zach, Nuno. There's actually first time ever footage of Zach and Sebastian and Kevin Dubrow performing at my wedding, and then I put on there for the Zach never
It's a lot.
It was on it. Don Dawkins came on board, like Steve from Kicks, like about 35 of my friends that are in my book came on the show for 5 or 10 minutes to say hi and celebrate with me. So that just was last night for 4.5 hours, which is, I'm going to be posting it. It's on my YouTube channel right now. So you can watch it in entirety, but tomorrow or on Tuesday, I'm going to take the highlights and put it together with some of my photos on the back. And I'll have that available. I'm going to ask the bands to post it on their social, help promote my book,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Check out the WEISSGUY. It's on there now. There's a 30-second clip. It's Gibson Upson and Brian Wheat from Tesla, also my friend. So it's going to involve my rock star friends too, like, today. So there's a clip from Nuno. Oh, so we start the Oh Say Can You Stream with Nuno was supposed to be our first guest. He didn't come till later, and with Zach, he was gonna be our first guest. So I used the one clip of the two actors, Creeper and Jesse is their names in the show, and they kind of looking for the WEISSGUY, and they sneak backstage at an Extreme show. And Gary and Nuno, like, it's funny. You have to watch it, and you can actually that starts at the Oh Say Can You Stream, so you can see it there. But it's on my YouTube channel too.
Nice.
Nice.
We'll watch for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone likes an 80s, party, goofy guys, rock stars, photographers. So.
Yeah.
You are a rock star. You are a rock star as well in your own right.
Yeah, exactly.
You are an artist, and you're really, for me, I mention it again. You're the greatest, really, because you took the best, of those years. So everybody should have a copy of this book in their collection, because it's
Thank you.
really amazing. It is. It's like
a piece of history. It's a piece of history.
Yeah, it is.
And thank you for like Bon Jovi, one of the best bands in the world, to giving them homage and a place where their fans can come, especially during this time. And you and your band, carrying the rock and roll torch. That's why Bon Jovi and Skid Row want bands like you, because they don't want to see this kind of music like go to become like a pop thing, which is unfortunately happening now. So it's all good. Everyone here is doing good stuff.
Yeah, so it's just like a link directly from the 80s to the new generation of the rock star behind you, Mark. And I see Angelo is behind Mark. Below Mark, sorry. And it's just a link, a connection for the rock. So thank you, Mark. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Grazie.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, Barbara, thank you very much. Grazie. Thanks for your questions and for.
You did amazing. You did a great job.
Really. Yeah. No, I want to say sorry to Angelo, because he was supposed to play at 10:30 UK time, 10:30 UK time.
9:30 UK time.
9:30 UK time.
9:30 UK time. So it was almost
1 hour.
1 hour ago.
1 hour ago. But Angelo already played one song. He talked a little bit with Mark Weiss, so nothing was planned. So it's
it's cool, man. When you've got someone, when you've got someone like rock royalty, someone like Mark who's done it, it's mate, it's been my pleasure. I mean, I don't, if I don't mind leaving out with one more song, if it's up to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We have all the time now.
If you can play, we want to hear you. We want to listen to your song, your Bon Jovi covers, your personal hits. So, people from home, the night is not over yet. We are still going on. There are many surprises. The first thing is that Angelo from Collateral, he's going to play for us some songs, Bon Jovi covers and some hits. And then there will be another surprise with our brother Felix. So stay with us, because
Felix, can you see the signature?
Wait.
Yeah,
Yes. So.
And.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
of course.
So, Angelo, stay a little bit far from the microphone. Just 20.
I know. My voice just breaks stuff. It's really annoying.
Okay, Barbara, you want to stay with us, or you?
I need some binoculars to try and. I can't see that. I'll try and sing lightly. Lightly, quietly. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if it sounded just like way really stereo,
so
you know.
if the sound is okay, we pop up you on the big screen, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. If the sound is rubbish, then just turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's normally what they do. Turn the mix. All right. Oh, that doesn't. Right. Okay. You know it? Rainy night, and we worked all day. Both got jobs and there's bills to pay. We got something that can take away all of our lives. Hold me close, baby, hang on tight. Buckle up, baby, for a bumpy ride. Two kids hitching down a road of life. Our world, all by my heart beats like a drum. Feels like flesh one-on-one, and I'll never let go. Something I know deep inside. You are born to be my baby. I was made to be your man. We got something to believe in. If we don't know where we stand, only God knows the reason. Well, he must have had a plan, 'cause you were born to be my baby. I was made to be your man. Light a candle, blow the world away. Table for two on a TV tray. I mean, plenty, baby, that's okay, 'cause it's our time, our way. Hold me close, baby, hang on tight. Buckle up, baby, for a bumpy ride. Two kids hitching down a road of life, and it's hard, hard pride. You stay by my side. There's a chance we'll get right. I know that you live in my heart till the day that I die. You were born to be my baby. I was made to be your man. We got something to believe in. If we don't know where we stand, only God knows the reason. Well, he must have had a plan, 'cause you were born to be my baby. I was made to be your man. One love beats like a drum. Feels like fresh morning. I'll never let go. Something I know deep inside. 'Cause you were born to be my baby. I was made to be your man. We got something to believe in. If we don't know where we stand, only God knows the reason. Well, you must have had a plan, 'cause you were born to be my baby. I was made to be your man. My beats like a drum. Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Good job.
Thank you
One
very
of my
much.
favorite
So
songs, by the way. One of my favorites, this one.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, I wish it's full electric, you know. Oh, that's definitely not it. But it's, yeah. No, it's weird being in lockdown, and I mean, I've been working on a special. Collateral. We do this series, documentary series called Rough Cuts. And it's basically, you know, you've seen obviously When We Were Beautiful, the documentary. It's basically like that, but we do episodes, you know, and just the life of us and who we are and what we get up to in, you know, and to try and give people an insight into working from the bottom to try and, you know, and the whole journey and stuff like that. So we started filming this documentary about 2 years ago. We've released I think it's about 6 or 7 episodes so far, which is on YouTube and it's on Facebook. Like I said, it's called Rough Cuts, but we're about to release the latest one, which is all to do with the PhilX tour that we did and stuff like that. And I've just finished it actually today, so it's probably going to be released in the next week or two. But yeah, it's pretty funny. PhilX is quite a funny guy on tour, so you know there's really good footage of us chilling with PhilX and walking around certain towns and certain cities when we were on tour. And there's a really funny, there we go, look at it. There's a really funny shot of us in this nightclub in Manchester, and I mean, if you guys know what England gets up to in nightlife, it's horrific. You know, girls might not as well wear clothes. They just wear nothing, basically, in like February. It's ridiculous, right? Phil notices this and is so confused because he lives in LA where it's like 30 degrees all the time. So he's wearing a massive coat anyway, but he's seeing all these girls in hardly anything. And he's like, what is going on? What is like, and as British people, you know, not to comment on it or say anything, you know, be whatever. But I love how Phil doesn't care. And this girl will walk past and he'll go, have you ever heard of a coat? And it's like, but it's hilarious. And yeah, we were in this nightclub and, you know, he's got no idea what's actually going on because he's never seen this sort of culture of weird British women before. And he's just sitting in the middle, standing in the middle of the dance room, sort of kind of looking around, like kind of wondering why the hell he's in this place, which is quite funny. So this documentary is going to be coming out, and yeah, it's just a very, very raw experience of, you know, exactly who we are and what we get up to, and you know, even PhilX said on this tour that we did with him, you know, he was in a splitter van like we were, and staying in travel lodges and stuff like that. And he said to us at one point, he said, you know, this is crazy because I wanted to come on this tour in a little splitter van with me and the band, and you know, we're getting really cheap hotels, but in 2 months I'm back in jets and, you know, stadiums and stuff like that. And so it was an eye opener. You know, a really down to earth guy, and had a lot of time for us to, you know, then a lot of questions were answered, and yeah, it was an amazing experience. So when it comes out, hopefully you guys can watch it and yeah, you know, make your own judgment upon it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
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 Angelo, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
what element of your music do you think is appealing to Bon Jovi audience?
It's
the good.
Well, I mean, you know, the looks, maybe. No. Oh no. I think it's. Do you know what? It's the simplicity of the writing, but yet it's done in such a way where it's very focused on the everyday person, and you know, and it focuses on the struggles that are real, and you know, being very inspirational to those that need it. And I think with Bon Jovi, it's been nothing but that for me. Every single song has got something to pull you out of a situation. You know, if you know, however low you are. You know, and it's very honest and it's very true. We're never going to try and be something that we're not, and I'll never write anything that I don't believe in. So I find the same thing with John and what he's done. You know, and even coming down to the pop side of stuff, like, because obviously Bon Jovi are pop rock, and that's what I love. I you know, I'm a very pop rock guy, and a lot of, you know, maybe in especially in the UK at the moment, pop rock is probably frowned upon because people like to sort of kind of go more hipster with what they're listening to. So if they hear that you're pop rock, it's kind of like, oh, well, you're just trying to do what everyone else is doing. And that's not the case. You know, you're just doing what you love, and you want to try and hit as many people as possible with your lyrics and your songs. And yeah, you know, so I think it's more within the band where we get our Bon Jovi sort of ness from. But on the outside, yeah, you know, I'm going to do everything in my power to have Bon Jovi open up for us one day. Let's see. So I see that's, you know, yeah, let's see. But no, yeah, it's just the songwriting, I think.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's play another song, Angelo. The people want to hear you, want to listen to your songs. Please play for us.
Yeah, one of yours.
One of yours. The people is requesting for maybe about a boy. What you want?
What's what are they requesting about this boy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see.
About this boy is from your last album, right?
Yeah, from my debut album. Yeah, so this was the last track on the album, and yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of the Lost Highway era sort of thing. So
yeah,
cool.
He was born years ago with fire in his eyes. He learned to sing before he even learned to cry. He looked hard in the mirror with a record in hand. Dreams too big for this town. Mama said, now listen to what you love, baby. Don't care about the ones that you stand there and hate. Take your time, the long hard road ahead now. I know you'll be alright. It's about this boy who left home early to feel these shoes, be a man someday. He took on this world, knowing deep down inside he's here to stay. It's about this boy. It's about this boy. He grew up, went to school, went to college, made a plan, he got a job, working for the working man. Saved some money for a guitar that he wanted for so long, so long. He found a girl, fell in love with her mood swings. So one night out, they made out down by the porch swing. These days go fast, these kids running along, stay fan. Miss Faith house by his side. It's about this boy who left home early to fill these shoes, be a man someday. He took on this world, knowing deep down inside, you're back one day. It's about this boy with one thing on his mind, guitar on his back, some lyrics on his head. He found his voice, and he whispered inside, he's here to stay. It's about this boy. Now that boy looks back in the mirror, same old shoes, stronger inside. Took on this world, same try. And now that boy looks back in the mirror, he tears out his heart, every so many things. He'll kick down the door, he'll come back tomorrow, and he's here to stay. It's about this boy who left already to feel his truth, be a man someday. He took on this world, knowing deep down inside, be back one day. It's about this boy with one thing on his mind, guitar on his back, some lyrics on his hand. He found his voice, and he whispered inside, he's here to stay. It's about this boy. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Angelo.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Great song. Great song. There are a lot of comments from the fans, so we have chosen only a few. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I'm so far away from the camera. I'm like,
yeah.
You can watch the replay afterwards.
Yeah. You can...
yeah, and then I'll really be like that. Yeah.
You can watch it again.
Yeah.
So you have one more song for us?
Yeah, I've got a few. Let's see. Let's see if my neighbours aren't kicking the wall in already.
The last one. It's our fault, so only the last one.
Right, let me see. I'll tell you what.
We can see all together after the song from Angelo. We can see all together the video message and the music by Felix. Okay.
Oh, yes, stay with us, people. Stay with us.
There's also
Okay, all
a testimonial. So Angelo, what you got?
Do you know what? I'm gonna just go out on a limb here and do something that I don't even know I know, to be honest. But let's just see. I think I know it. Is it, right, hang on, does it start on that one? No, that's the second chord. Right, okay, here we go.
There's a line that you crossed when you found out that you lost, when your world is closing in and it crawls under your skin, and the heart's always high when it's in this state of mind. There's a bright light in this town, every heart that's broken down tonight. Yeah, tonight. Shining out there in the rain, you just can't see past the pain tonight. Falling from Graceland, falling from Graceland. When you're too proud to crawl, keeps your back against the wall. You wanna tie, but you leave with nothing left to give. and there's no place to hide. When you're tangled up inside, there's a good life in this town. In your heart that's broken down tonight. Yeah, tonight. Stranded out there in the rain, you just can't see past the pain tonight. Falling from Graceland, falling from Graceland. You fall from Graceland tonight. You fall, falling, falling, falling from Graceland tonight.
Wow. Wow. Goosebumps, emotions every time you sing, Angelo. You know, the mood, the passion, the passion. You break the screen, right? You go through the screen to the house of the people, to the heart.
Thank you, man.
My heart. Barbara, I want to ask you something or not? Because Barbara has always question, right? Always.
The question girl.
Yeah.
No, well, actually, it's a easy Bon Jovi question. I just wanted, to ask you, when you very first saw Bon Jovi live, which tour and how old you were back then?
Oh man, well, I can remember every second. It was 2006. It was the Have a Nice Day tour at Milton Keynes. That was the first show I saw them. It's about 12. 11 or 12, and yeah, I mean, Jesus, I've seen them 10 times since then. It was there's no, for me, it's the perfect perfect combination in members, songs, just everything about them. And I just remember that they opened up with, I think it was something like was it Last Man Standing? I can't completely remember, but I remember the show had started and the band were on stage, but John wasn't. And as a kid, this is the first show I ever went to as well, and I was like, well, where the fuck's the singer? Where's John? I'm like, and then he just comes out of the audience somewhere, and I'm like, now that's badass, and it was just like, that is. And obviously, look back at it. It was the least probably that they've done in terms of for, like, zip wiring into stadiums and stuff like that. But I was just so captivated, and just everything about him, just his presence. I remember just every image was burnt into my brain, and I got to see them when they opened up the O2 in 2007, and again the whole sort of the dream that kids have when you're a 12-year-old kid and you hear a song for the first time. In my case, it was "Living on a Prayer." You get this dream, and you want to be a rock star, and you look up to your idols. In my sense, it was Bon Jovi, and I lived that dream when I saw them in 2007, and the screen came up when they were about to come on, and it was John walking through the backstage with the beginning of "Live On a Prayer," and I just remember the amount of I don't know what was pouring out of me, but it was I could levitate with the amount of inspiration I was getting. When you get the hair stick up on your arm and stuff, and it just goes all the back of your neck. I got that to such an extent that I genuinely thought I was lifting off the floor. And if it wasn't for Bon Jovi, yeah, I wouldn't have become a musician, and I wouldn't have become, you know, I wouldn't have been in a band, and I wouldn't have
inspiration.
I wouldn't have, you know, and then and that's why the whole Bon Jovi cruise was such a crazy thing for us, because I know for us to support Bon Jovi in a stadium is nigh on impossible these days, and it's not probably anything to do with John himself. It's probably the more corporate people, but they would just never allow a small band to open up for a stadium band nowadays, which is a shame. So the next best thing kind of came on our doorstep. And it was like, well, I'll tell you what, okay, you can't support Bon Jovi in a stadium, but how about you spend a cruise with him for the, you know, for 4 days, 5 days, whatever it was. But and it was weird because at one point me and the band were out on the balcony on the ship, and it was after the last time we played, and we all came out on the balcony and we looked across the sea, and we were all together, and I looked at the guys and I said, you know, we've got a lot of haters around here in the UK. A lot of people hate us in terms of my hometown, because I mean, it's quite funny because they're like all 70-year-olds and they all play in punk bands and think that we, you know, it's like, fuck them, right? But like, you know, so we were on like in a balcony, and I looked around to the band and I said, you realise like music has gotten us onto here, and music has gotten us to play in front of these guys, and it's gotten to make me to, you know, to be able to meet Bon Jovi, and to, you know, to now go off and support Skid Row worldwide. And I said to them, listen, this is insane, and you know, it's if we keep at this, then, you know, this could be something very special and can blow up. So I think we're all very unified in knowing that if we stick at this and we keep going the way we are, then hopefully soon, like I said, you know, maybe open up Bon Jovi in a stadium. That's the dream.
Yeah.
Wow.
Keep the fingers crossed for you. Maybe in the future. Let's see.
Never say never.
Never say never. Yeah. Can you play a little bit, not all the song, just a few seconds, maybe 1 minute of Unbroken?
Yeah, okay.
You did a good version.
Yeah, because, you know, many of you at home already know that Angelo has recorded his Unbroken acoustic version from John Bon Jovi song. Unbroken will be in the next album, Bon Jovi 2020. And when I heard Unbroken, I said, okay, Angelo, he has to play for us a little bit.
Yeah, you do a great version.
Please.
Thank you. Well, I mean, you know, the last time I did that was actually recording that. So let me see if I can remember.
Yeah, just a few.
Right, let me just work out the chords quickly, right? So, and then. Right, okay, all right. I'm just gonna go for it again. Let's just do it, you know. Right, okay. I was born to be of service. Came as you, just feel like home. I went on a right on purpose. Sir, yes, sir, that's what I know. They took us to a place I never heard of weeks before. When you're 19, it ain't hard to sleep in the desert on God's floor. Close your eyes, stop counting sheep. You ain't in boot camp anymore. We were taught to shoot our rifles, men and women side by side. Thought we'd be met as liberators in a 1,000-year-old fight. I got this painful ringing in my ear from a night you did last night. But no live line of the war machine
See my surgeon's life. 3 more soldiers, 6 civilians. Need these words to come out right. God of mercy, God of light, save your children from this life. Hear these words, this humble plea, for I have seen the suffering. With this prayer I'm hoping we unbroken.
I'm not going to shoot myself and try and go anymore.
Oh, thank you so much. It was beautiful, totally beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, yeah, you know, because we have a story behind the song, because during the cruise, the song wasn't released yet, and you know, John invited me and Luca, my beautiful girlfriend, to his room in the street in the cruise, and
right
say,
after the main concert on the pool deck.
after the main concert, and
Oh,
John
it's
said,
just after he met me in my pink stuff, so he's probably pissed off.
and John told me, Max, listen, I want you to make you hear few songs from the new album, right? Like, what?
Well,
Yeah, okay, let's go, no, right? And I was thinking that maybe there were maybe 10, 15 people, right? No, it was exclusive just for us, me, Luca, Alicia, and another girl that was in the cabin with us. And it was just us, the management, and John, right, the brother. And we have listened to Unbroken for the first time ever on the cruise, and I was totally, you know, we were sitting on the sofa, right, us with John. So, Max, do you like this song? What do you think? I was totally blown up, you know, goosebumps, and I have loved this song since the first sight and since the first time that I heard it, and it was incredible.
You
So
also played other
beautiful.
2 songs for us, and one is "Beautiful Drug," which is supposed to be the next single.
Oh wow!
it will be the next single, maybe.
And another one that is "Blood in the Water,"
Yeah.
and that also is the same level as "Unbroken."
Blood in the Water was
It
incredible.
reminds me
Well,
of.
I know where to try and hang out next time on the next cruise. I'm going to be over it.
You know, that cruise was incredible, because maybe it's strange because we didn't have so many time to drink a beer together with you, right? Because it was always concert, movement.
Yeah, so many things to do.
So many things to do. I say, okay, Angelo, hi, Angelo. And maybe the first time was during the 80s party, when we were all dressed like 80s, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe say, oh, Angelo, finally, Angelo, take a picture. Yes, you know, I don't remember a lot of many things about that night. I don't remember many things what's happened that night, but I remember the picture of you, and I say, okay, Angelo, finally.
I remember,
right?
because I was carrying a bottle of champagne around.
That's red wine or something. So
I don't think there was a time there where I wasn't carrying a bottle of something. It was just.
It was so funny, so funny. So when I saw that you have done, you know, Unbroken, your personal version of Unbroken, I will say, okay, perfect.
Yeah. Bon Jovi can't really do me any wrong. You know, he can release anything really, and I'd love it. It's quite funny because the rest of the band hate me for it. You know, they're like, oh, just give up. I'm like, I can't get over the, you know, new stuff. It's just, it doesn't matter what it is for me. I think it's because it's been such a big part of my life and it's molded me to, you know, to what I've become. Maybe I'm just biased, but nothing can be released from them that I don't like or that I won't listen to. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So looking forward to it. And hopefully now, I mean, it's quite this whole lockdown thing is kind of might work well in our favor in terms of what we're might able to do in a few years, because obviously Bon Jovi have had to cancel their tour, as we know. but it means that we're going to be releasing our second album in May 2022, with obviously a Skid Row tour before that, which is going to be a world tour, and that's hopefully going to get us on the map a bit more. And then when we release our second album in May 2022, you know, I'm thinking Bon Jovi probably won't be coming over to Europe until at least 2023, maybe 2024, maybe even possibly later than that. So you never know. Maybe the next tour, yeah, you know, we might be on there. We're going to push very hard to get us on there. Our booking agent's very works very hard, and obviously our booking agent just signed Phil X. So you know, let's see. I will push for that.
Yeah. You have to. But we'll be your fans, so we will be with you in this dream for sure. But you have the passion. Barbara, what do you think? Angelo is really, you know, passion.
Yeah, you know, I never heard about him before, so this is I'm a virgin tonight. So it's like, and I'm impressed. I'm really impressed, I must say. So
no, thank you.
I will check stuff out, and thank you really very much. I like your passion. I like the way you sing, and your voice is pretty amazing, man. So
thank you so much. Well, we love virgins, so it's
okay. But just tonight, so
it's a virgin. It's a very rare stuff, I think, nowadays.
Yeah,
it is. Just kidding, because now it's here in Central European time is midnight.
Yeah.
So it means that it's just 2 hours and a half. It's too much it's too much for a live show. Instead, the people is step by step is going to sleep or saying goodbye. But you know,
but we're not there yet.
These live are always available anytime you want on Facebook or on YouTube, so you can go and to check anytime you want to reply for everything, right? Now, Angelo, if you want, we can see together. It's our special video message and special also a little bit music from our brother Felix, because he couldn't make it live because he's very busy a little bit. But yeah, Felix. But he's done only for us this video message. So Angelo, if okay for you, if you can stay with us, we can see that together.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I'm ready to crack over this beer. Let's do it.
Yeah, just a little presentation because it's been so nice. You know, it's the best. So I remember you that now Felix app is available, the official app. You can create your own account for free, or you can have the paying version, which offers you the option to follow him when he goes live, to comment, to interact with him directly. It's a great app. I downloaded it and trying it, and it's very interactive in this app. So if you download it, you do a great choice. It's really amazing. You can find it on the Google Play, on the App Store, whatever kind of mobile you have. So check and look for it because it's really great. What more? I remind you that on the 9th of June, we will have the new single of Felix and the Drills out on the 9th of June, so you can pre-save and order it. And it's already available. Yes, it sounds like it will be amazing, actually. What else?
Through the app. Right now, through the app, you can upload a video that will make your own video that will be mounted into the official video of this new single.
Oh yeah!
So go check out.
You can appear on the video.
Wow!
And one more. So before presenting the video that Phil sent us, I want to show you one thing that he's doing with his wife there in California, where he lives. So they are providing food to the healthcare staff in the hospitals around, because as we all know, he's a very great and down-to-earth guy, and is taking care in his own way to the people around to thank them. Okay, so see, this is the food that he's preparing with the wife, and it's amazing. And he is very, very busy, but you will find it out in the video. So it's the moment. The moment has come.
Yeah.
Ali.
Yeah, here he goes.
Hey gang, it's Phil X. I'm sorry I couldn't make it live. You know, it's kind of a crazy time and we've been all busy. But I didn't want to miss the whole Bon Jovi talk show and live music with the Italian fans, and I mean fans around the world. It's amazing. So that will happen. But in the meantime, I'm here to say hi. And I know Matt, Bon Jovi, and Lorenza, and Everett, and David, and Everett have been here. Hugh too. And I haven't, so I feel, you know, but it'll happen. So in the meantime, this video is to say hello, and I have to thank, I've been watching, Max, Alicia, Luca, Mora. Thank you so much for keeping the fans together and keeping the whole Jovi tribe alive. It's amazing, because this is a crazy time. The world pandemic, lockdown, isolation thing, yeah. So in the meantime, I just wanted to say, hey, and oh, you know what else? Alicia, I know your birthday was on Monday, so happy birthday. So I'm gonna play a couple of tunes for you guys, because I mean, nobody's done that yet, right? Okay, check it out. First I'm gonna do a Joe's tune. Let's see how this sounds. Oh, in my head. You know she did me wrong, started a war, yeah. Woman, stepped on, well stabbed my heart with a hand, a heel, a boot. You know she did me wrong, got my mouth. Oh no, don't drink the water, playing my soul. She can bring the game, but she's so damn cold. I'm running, a shot against the lane, cutting mouth, running like a 17 woman. She don't want me, I'm a mind. Oh yeah. Sweet ass kissing town, that is from the mind. Yeah. What's up, motherfucker? I also got a request for this. You need cooling, baby, I'm not fooling. I'm gonna say it, go back to your schooling. Way down inside, honey, you need it. I'm gonna give him my love, gonna give him my love. Oh! Hold on a second. Want all that love, want all that love, want all that love.
young man. Baby, I'm a young man. Oh, my good times, baby, baby. You've been a young man. Way, way, way down inside. I'll be good in love. I'm gonna get a whimper into my love. I love my love. All right. We want all that love. We want all that love. We want all that love. All that love. Love, baby. Oh man, wait. I'm gonna get a slide. I can't help myself. Keep on pushing, baby, like I've never known before. Keep on loving me like I've never known. Got a superstitious woman. She got a superstitious mind. Wait, oh man, it's like. My heart is beating faster, baby. It's beating like a big, big drum. Oh yeah. Oh man, that's all I know. Anyways, again, Max, Alicia, Maura, Luca. You guys, I think I've seen you at more shows than anybody else. Well, maybe not, but close. And it's always great to see your faces in the audience. And so I'm looking forward to actually doing our multi-window TV thing so we can correspond and update people on all things that are Phil X, me, and all things that are you guys. And we could talk about when Bon Jovi will be on the road again, and you guys will be coming to more shows and all that stuff because it's gonna be awesome. Yeah! All right. Have a kick-ass day, or morning, or week, or year. Because I'm gonna be honest for a minute, and I don't know how I'm gonna emotionally handle not playing on stage until next year. It's very challenging. I know it's challenging for everybody. Just be strong, have faith, keep the faith. What? Is that a song? Have faith, be strong, and we'll all make it through this. All right. Power and love.
So
okay, it's the best. Everyone, please, everyone, just like this. It's a dedication to him. Yes, 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 yes. He's the best.
So
that was amazing.
He makes me cry and laugh at the same time.
Was amazing because we didn't expect that when I tried to. Yeah, great message. So it's a promise. So maybe next time when Phil will be free, or maybe he can, maybe next month at the end of June, let's see. Maybe he will be with us live. So it's a promise, and Phil will do it. If he said this,
he's gonna do it.
He's gonna do it. So Angelo will be invited anyway. You will be invited when Phil will be live here.
Oh, what?
So
maybe I could.
I mean,
next
you
time,
opened for him even today. You opened for him even today, so.
So next time we'll keep you updated when it will be happening.
Hey man, well, let me know, and I'll happily.
Yeah. It's all happening, so we are here.
Well, be good. Maybe we could, well, depending on when it is, do like a proper promotional thing with this whole Phil X, Rough Cuts episode. Just plugging it in there.
Exactly.
No, I think you guys are seeing that. That's the sort of person he is. Seeing that video, he is. Yeah, he really is.
Phil is incredible. We honestly, because now we are over. Ali, can you say 2 hours and a half?
And 40 minutes actually, Max. 2:40.
Now it's 2:40 and more.
And counting.
Barbara said
and counting.
41.
And counting. And we weren't sure if to put this video of Felix now or maybe the next episode, but I think it's okay to show now. And
no, Better now.
It's better now. Yeah, much better for all the people that are watching us. So, guys, I think for tonight it's enough. It's enough for everyone. So Ilona Gori said almost 3 hours. We want to thank you, all the people that is still with us. Now we are less than 100, but you know, more than 2 hours, a show like this is too much. 1 hour and a half is too much. 2 hours is incredible. Now we are 2:40 on Sunday night, so it's really a challenge for everyone.
And thing is, John does 2.5 hour shows daily. That's amazing.
Yeah. The 240. The record. We had the Everett Bradley 2 weeks ago, and you know, he has toured with Bruce. Everett Bradley, and he told that Bruce some concert 3 hours and a half, 3 hours 45 minutes, and they told us, you know, Max, what's happening? I was at the percussion, right? And you know, 3 hours. Okay, let's do it. 3 hours 15. Oh my God. 3 hours 30 minutes. Oh, crazy. 3 hours 40 minutes. Stop. Was incredible, you know, for him to play with Bon Jovi, for Everett to play with Bon Jovi is very relaxed.
Yeah.
So, guys, I think say hi everyone at home.
We thank Angelo, we thank Barbara for being with us. And
thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
you.
See you next time. We don't know where when it will be. Maybe next week, or in 2 weeks, or in 10 days. Follow us.
Tomorrow.
No.
Tomorrow.
And
I'm free tomorrow, baby. So it's fine.
He's already tomorrow. Yeah.
After now, our motto is on my 3, 1, 2, 3. Bon Jovi forever.
Forever.
No, thank you.